I look like I got bedhead, but it's just because I just finished teaching a fusion class, which, you know, got a little warm. If you are just joining, welcome. We will do a little 30-minute yoga flow today with a focus on some upper body movement, mobility, and some strengthening. So working towards bearing weight on the hands. Hi Gigi, nice to see ya. Today the props are 2 yoga blocks or whatever. If you don't have yoga blocks, that's fine. You can use anything else that's kind of similar. Well, that's not quite true. Not for what we'll do today, but if you have something else that's similar to yoga blocks, like I've got, I'll show you. Oops. And you might not be able to use this today. Depends if you've got it handy and relevant. But I don't know if anybody has like a tarot deck or whatever like these. Hey mom, look, you got me these. This Tarot Guide to the Body like thingies. But can you see how these are about the same size? And if I taped them up, then I know that they wouldn't come apart. So I'm just trying to give you examples if you don't have yoga blocks of something else you could use. But I'll show you the movement so that you'll understand what we need to do. And Rachel So, I miss you too. Nice to see you. That's a different Rachel who also teaches Pilates that I'm saying hi to. But if you have blocks, this is what we'll be doing with it. I learned this from Paluna, and hopefully I do it justice. It's been a few years, but I love this move. So you'll flip one block to second side, other block to this, other block to this, other block to this. We've done this before because I remember telling you that my foam blocks are a bit harder to move with. So I'm just showing you that to give you a sense of what you'll need to be able to do with your blocks or block substitute, but we aren't going to start with that. So hopefully you have something that you can use with you. Ooh, yeah, okay. And then have one of your blocks off to the side and just take one of them. I'll show this from standing. You can do this from kneeling too, but I find it better from standing. And it's good if you've got a block that's wooden. This one's a little bit light. So what I'm gonna do actually, so I don't cheat, is put something on my block. Something that's not breakable, that's probably not a good idea. So like even a little stone on the block, just so I don't tip it while I do what I'm gonna show you. And you can follow if you want, if you're ready. So the block, imagine there's something on it, or put something on it. Don't flip it. And bend your elbow out towards the side to sneak the block past your body. And then keep going until the arm is straight out. Notice how my block hasn't turned the surface. And I'm reaching the arm out, not crushing it in. Do the same thing to get back in. So you'll bend your elbow, slide the block past you, and go forward. There's probably other objects you could use for this. A book would be fine for this part, if you have books in your house or wherever you are. So do that again. And here you're noticing there's like quite a bit of movement that's happening in my shoulder girdle and in my ribs. So I'll do my best to stay a bit more upright. Jack's doing it again. That's the best, Danny. Awesome. And this one's fun. So we're warming up through a few things. Definitely wrists, shoulders, and I'll show you the next part of this. So you'll do the same thing to slide the block back, but then keep going this time. And now you've got a cool flare bartending trick to keep going around. My block is still the same side up, and I come all the way up. If you crash, don't worry. Do it the same way. Same way is probably easier at first. Okay, so all the way around. You can see there's little like trembles where my arm is like, I don't know, but I've got to like bend at my wrist and use my body a bit. Try, whoops, one more time. Sorry, I dropped my rock, but pretend I didn't. A bit behind you, rolling the shoulder back, extend your arm. Once it's straight, sweep it around and like go over your head and back up. And notice how I'm also trying not to like death grip it, so I can just turn it. I'm lightly holding it. Now go the other way. So out and around, forward, circle it around, and back to where you started. If you got confused, no worries, try it again. Pull the block in towards you. Try to keep it level with the floor as it comes all the way around. Complete the movement and then go the other way. Just don't think too much about it. If you're moving, you're doing great. Mobility. Okay, switch. Other hand. If you want something on the block, do it. We start with just the first part of the movement. So your elbow will bend out towards the side. Scooch it in between your arm and you. Pause with the tray or whatever facing up. Make sure shoulder is on the back, not scrunchy. And go back. Ooh, this is my harder side. Ooh, we probably all started with our more coordinated side. But you gotta pay attention, right? This is like almost better than any kind of like laying down and breathing to get us, oops, into the room. It ain't perfect, but I'm doing my best. Bend elbow, sneak block, and press out in front. 2 more with just the first part of the movement. Grew up listening to a lot of Queen. I thought they were called Classic Queen. True story. Because that's the album that we had was Classic Queen. So I'd say, can we listen to Classic Queen? Okay, do the whole movement. So elbow goes out towards the side. Block skims you. Ooh. Try to keep it level. Now keep going. Swipe past your head. Don't tip whatever's on it off of it and back where you started. Do one more the same direction. Circle in towards, oh wow, this, you can see it's a lot tighter on this side. I like this, someone, yeah, you just typed one thing of being like, what are we doing? Any object you want, hold it. So this time, do the first, what's this called, direction. And then switch the other way. Back up past your top one if you've got one. Try to keep the block level, slide it out towards the side. Bend your arm to sneak the block past your ribs and back out. Again, if you want, put something on it, up the ante. My arm going is, whoa! It's fun to do this. I teach this a lot at Downward Dog where I teach, and ooh, they're wooden blocks, and I gotta tell you, it's never really a real class unless we hear at least like 3 blocks crashing. Last time the other way, Gaga, Gaga. Also, I believe this is where Lady Gaga got her name from. That might not be true, but I think it is. Love her. Ooh. Okay, that's the last one. Hopefully you feel a little bit more mobile through your upper spine and your shoulders. Okay, you've done this before with me if you've been here. Have the blocks for today, why not? I'll turn a bit to the side so you can see my spine. Keeping my spine nice and long, I take the elevator down a floor, heard this from Sylvie yesterday, it's good, and then back up a floor, meaning I'll let my chest sink down a little bit to squeeze the blades towards each other on my back, and then move my shoulder blades apart from each other by pressing into the ground or my blocks. I'll do that a couple more times. And so I'm trying not to like cat-cow my spine, but to keep my spine pretty neutral and to move my shoulder blades around. This is very good also if you're breastfeeding right now. This is really good to mobilize and wake up through your upper back muscles. Cool? So either keep going on your knees or straighten the legs completely and do the same movement in plank. So it's called a scapular push-up. Your shoulder blades, your scapula, are moving toward each other and away from each other. If you've done this a lot of times before, try doing it in a circular motion instead, like a chugga-chugga-choo-choo, a locomotive action with my straight arms and calm breath. I'll go one more time in this direction and then switch. So I've got my legs charged up, core igniting. Oops, and I'm doing my best not to bend my elbows. All you can do is your best. Hold in your plank. Imagine pulling the heel of the palm towards your toes a bit. Take another breath and lower your knees to the ground. Okay, before we go on, we'll mobilize a little bit. So keep your right hand down towards the ground. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. 4 times, pata pata. twist and rotate to look over to the right, and unwind back up, left arm lifts. 3 more. Just a little hug towards yourself. You might even just hover rather than dropping to the floor. I lost count, but let's call that number 4. So lift to the top of your range. Now if, like me, you've like pooped your hips out to the right or to the side, then bring them back through center. Take another breath as you are. Hug your right shoulder blade on its back and lower your arm down. Other side. Right arm lifts towards the ceiling. Ooh, doggy. Bend your left elbow, thread the arm underneath, just behind your wrist, and open back up. There's 4, pata pata. Jack says you're doing great. That's nice. Jack is so generous. 1 more. I think we got an extra on this one. Please forgive me. Now this time when you lift back up, hold. Do the check, like even weight on right and left knee, even hips. 1 more breath. Lower the hand to the floor. Tuck all 10 toes under. Hover your knees off of the ground. And if you need to, like I just had to adjust, I was a little bit too long in my position, but I want my hands right underneath of my shoulders and knees under the hips. In this position, knees hovered, round your spine like an angry cat, breathe in. Lengthen back out to neutral as you breathe out, just flat back. 3 more. Round knee to nose. If this is too intense with the shins off of the floor, feel free to lower your knees back down. 2 more. Last one, curl tail towards your belly button. Unravel the spine, hold in your knee hover, and tap the knees down. Keep your toes tucked under if you can, and just walk yourself back so that you're sitting your butt towards your heels. And flick, 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 flick. Maybe there's some South Africans in the house. Love them. Miriam Makeba. Flick, 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 flick. You keep flicking. I'll show you the palm raises that come next. So again, we're prepping the strength that we need to bear weight on our hands for inverting, like handstand or whatever you want to do. So I'll take my palms back down to the floor. You keep flicking. This is active recovery. And I'll show you from the side. So my thumbs will hover and give a little wiggle. And both my palms will lift up and away from the floor at the same time. And they both lower down at the same time. It's not a very big movement. My base of my knuckles and my fingers all stay down while my palms lift and lower. A little lift and a little lower. Also looking that, and you can start doing it now if you want, but trying to keep my eye of my elbow, this bend, facing away from me. Lifting up and lowering down. Hi Megan, lift up, and lower back down. You might feel some heat through your lower part of your forearm. If you don't, make sure your chest is over your hands. ZZ top. 4 and down. 3 more times. Lift up, and down. If you haven't seen the ZZ Top documentary on Netflix, go watch it. Look at the credits. Little pulse. Up, down, lift, lower, up, down. 8, 7. In my past life, I worked on that. 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms down, sit back to the heels. Flip your fingers, flick, flick, flick. Woo! I hope you felt burning in the forearms in a good way. 4, we'll do finger taps. 3, 2, hands to the ground. Tap your index fingers. Tap, tap, to tap, to tap, to tap, to tap, to tap. And so if I sit back closer towards my butt, or my butt to my heels, I can move my finger quite freely. And I want to be able to move it, but I'm just going to take it a little forward until I feel some challenge to keep tapping my index fingers only. And if you're like, what's happening? This is very difficult. It's just if you haven't done it before, it's tricky like the first couple times, but it does get easier. So try to tap just your index finger, your pointer finger. Tap, to tap, to tap, to tap, to tap, to tap, to tap. For 4, 3, 2, like you like ZZ Top, you're just tapping along. Now sit back, butt to the heels, lift your middle fingers up, wave them a little bit side to side. Elbows straight, lean forward, tap your middle fingers. Tappy, 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 tappy. As quick as you can. Tap, to tap, to tap, to tap, to tap, to tap. Like You're Frank Beard, the drummer. That's you. Tap in your middle fingers. Tap, 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 tap for 4, 3, oh my god, 2, and 1. Sit back. Lift your ring fingers up. Give them a movement so you know they move. Then lean back forward and tap, 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 tap your ring fingers. I don't know if you can see this close, but my left one, it doesn't really like to move. So I'm just going to sit a little bit further back so I can move it. So I'm back here rather than here so I can move my finger. Tap to tap to tap. 4, 3, 2, sit back. Pinky finger, give it a wiggle. Lean forward, challenge yourself and tap it. To tap, to tap, to tap, to tap. Just your pinky finger. Isolating the work there. Elbows straight. 4, takes a lot of concentration. 3, make sure you're breathing. 2, and last one, sit back, butt towards the heels. Thumbs to the inside of your fist. Wrap your knuckles around it. So I'm wrapping and like hiding my thumbs. Once I've hidden my thumbs, send your knuckles towards your device. So I've got a bend in my wrist and I'm really like wrapping my fingers quite a bit around my thumbs. And then just start to go like this a bit with your fists and make a little noise out your mouth like it's like a little whimper. I think that's a Catherine Bruning Young original. Maybe. This is not Eminem. It's the OG. One more breath. And keep the arm up, just release the hand and see if maybe it stretches a little further. Yeah. Okay, lower down, shake it out, and then side 2. And maybe just do a comparison in between, like if it feels any different. Yeah, I definitely have some more range of, see this, my arm goes back behind me. I'm not trying to flash you, but just show you that instead of this happening, I can keep my rib cage still and just lift my arm up. Good. Okay, no further ado. Hand to the back of the arm, press. Make sure you're Neck is not like wrinkled and craned. You're still angled slightly chin towards the chest, and stay for one more breath. Keep your arms, lose the blocks. Slide your thumbs along the sides of your body, elbows will bend. And then once your thumbs are at your ribs, flip your palms to face down. Shoulders are on the back. Press into your palms, peel your chest forward and up, either cobra or upward facing dog on tops of feet with the knees lifted. Hold here for 3 breaths. So no sinking in the blades and craning neck. Push into the ground to take the elevator up, but also squeeze behind your armpit to open your collarbones. And through bent knees, just tuck your toes and lift your hips into downward facing dog. Stay for 5 breaths. And if you're confused at all about what I mean by like wrapping armpits to the heart and you're more visual, feel free to rest. You can sit your knees to the ground and I'm gonna show you a visual. If you're cool, just stay in dog. But here's option number 1. And then if I wrap my shoulder blades towards my heart, this is option number 2. You can see how my neck and my head just kind of relaxed. Knees can be bent, so I'm pressing into my hands and feeling priority in my spine. 1 more breath. Look forward, step or float the feet towards the front of the mat. Halfway lift, fingers can lift up the shins, flat back. Exhale to fold. Strong feet, press into the ground, lift your arms overhead, stand tall, breathe in. Hands lower, breathe out. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, lifting arms up. Exhale to fold, chest towards the thigh bones. Halfway lift, flat back, breathe in. Ground your palms, step or hop back to plank. Keep the elevator up as you bend your elbows to lower yourself to the floor. Hover your hands, find your back muscles, untuck the toes, glutes are on. Peel your chest and your face up without your hands first. Then use your hands to just add on, Opening to the chest, and downward facing dog, 3 breaths this time. So Surya Namaskara A, Sun Salutation A. It's meant to build some heat in the body. 1 more breath. Look forward as you exhale, step or float the feet towards the hands on empty. Halfway lift, elongate your spine. Exhale to fold. Stand tall, arms lift with you, palms together or not, and hands lower. 2 more Surya A, or Sun Salutation A. Inhaling to lift the arms. Exhaling, soft bend in knees as you fold forward. Let the whole spine decompress. Halfway lift, long back. Ground the palms, keep the chest wide as you transition to plank and as you lower to the floor. In breath is your back bend. Try not to stress out too much about rushing through this. Instead, find your form. Downward dog for 3. In and out through the nose. That helps to keep your nervous system calm. 1 more breath. Look forward, step or hop your feet to your hands. Halfway lift, soft knees. Exhale, fold. Stand tall, arms rise. Hands lower. 1 more. Try to move with your breath. It might be different than mine. And if you forget what the moves are, just make them up. What is yoga? Well, it's not dancing. It's not choreography. It's something that's a practice that's in you. These are just moves that help. 3. Finding balance between inhale and exhale. And also balance between effort and ease. Look forward towards the hands. Step or float your feet towards them. Halfway lift, elongate. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. We'll meet in standing. Lower the arms as you breathe out. Now into Sun Salutation B. I'm going to set my feet wider than my hips. You can also have them together, your choice. Bend your knees, lift your arms up. And so remember when we did that stretch, see if you can get your arm bone in line with your ear. And that might mean it's not tight to the side of your head. It just might be a little wider out to a V. And that's okay. Try to feel that stretch of the whole line from your pinky to the side of your hip. 2 more breaths. We're opening the lungs and finding some more space in the diaphragm to breathe. Fold forward on your next exhale. Flat back inhale. Ground the palm, step or float, push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, lift your right leg high and back behind you. Bend your knees, step the foot behind your right wrist. Hold in the low lunge first. If you need to wiggle the back toes further back so you've got like an actual split going on through the legs, do it. And lift up, front knee stays bent. This is your high lunge. Pull the ribs back into the body. Same deal with the arms. Use this to actively find your overhead range. You're gonna want it. One more breath. Left hand to the ground, turn your toes to face towards the side. So I've got to move my right foot a little bit back, just so I'm on the outer blade of both feet with no soggy ankles. Lift your right arm right up to the sky. Imagine a string on the ceiling helping to keep you this lifted. One more breath. Take the palm down. So from here, just pivot your right foot more towards the middle of your mat. So I'm in like a very short lunge, you can see here. Plant your palms down quite a lot, and try to float your left toes off of the mat. So my weight is in my front foot. That might be where you stay. If you can, you lean your chest a bit past your hands, your fingertips. Stay wide to the collarbones, and then maybe find like little baby hops. And as I hop, I'm doing my best to keep my arms straight, my fingertips active, and I'm trying not to like shrug to all get out, but it's kind of what I do. One more. Now land back towards plank safely. Breathe in there. Exhale to bend elbows lower. Inhale, back bend of your choice, no rush. Exhale to dog. Notice how you feel. Probably a little bit, your heart rate might be going. Lift your left leg up. Breathe in. Breathe out to step the foot forward behind the wrist. Stay and breathe. Feel free to adjust the back toes if you want a longer stance. Lighten up on your fingertops and lift up, high lunge. Smooth it out. On this side, I can feel like this hip really wants to open, so I'm trying to square it just gently towards the same direction as the other hip. One more breath. Lower your right hand down. Twist your chest only towards the side first. Take a moment to feel your right shoulder blade firmly on the back, so it's like right on the rib cage, not winging up or in your ear. And now turn on your feet. You might need to wiggle the front foot back. Outer blades of both feet. Roughly have your back foot in line with the hand, roughly. Just so it's not forward or back of it. One more breath. Okay, left hand down. Turn your left toes to face forward. You might need to adjust your stance. Lift your right leg up. And just taking that much weight, like leaning forward and taking some weight into your hands, that might be where you start today. If you can, find little baby kicks. And if that seems scary, it's okay. They can be like baby hops. Make sure your right extended leg is really strong. One more. Land back towards plank. I'm gonna crawl there. Bend your elbows lower to the earth. Stay on the ground this time. Untuck all 10 toes. Make a W shape with your arms. Lower your head down. I'm gonna keep mine lifted so you can hear me. Also take this on. With your W arms, float them up and away from the floor just a little bit. And in that floating sensation, stretch both arms forward till they're in a V shape without the shoulders encroaching the ears. Then bend the elbows tight back beside your body. 3 more times. Arms reach forward like you're a superhuman flying through space. This last one, arms reach straight forward, hold them there. Palms are facing the floor. One more breath. Lower everything to the ground, take an ear to the floor, and rest. 3 full breaths. Relax, relax, relax. One more breath where you're at. Okay, slide your hands back towards you. Sit back, butt towards the heels. And roll up to a seat of any kind. Swing your legs out in front of you. Once you've got the legs out in front of you, we'll do some core stuff. So take your time to roll onto the back. Bend the knees in tight towards your chest. hold the shins for a second, but then relax your head. One full breath here. Make sure your tailbone is on the floor so you're not like curled your butt up. And nod the chin towards the chest and curl up so that you can see your belly button or like your chest. Pause there. So I'm going to keep my butt firmly on the ground, the tips of my shoulder blades firmly on the ground. I'm not rolled up higher than that. Once I'm in this position, I can either start with bent knees and arms stretched forward or support your head. I'm going to go to here. So this is like a hollow body, also is very similar to 100 in Pilates. Either stay like this or find a little rock. I'm going to take my hands behind my head, engaging the backs of my legs toward each other as I find this little rock. If that's like so intense, just keep your knees bent. I find it actually a little harder like this. I'm curling my pubic bone towards my face and doing 2 more. Hollow rocks. Hold on your last one. Tips of shoulder blades are just on the floor. And then bend your knees in. Relax your head to the ground. Hold your shins with your hands. Turn your head once to the right and once to the left. Then the break is over. Curl the chin back towards the chest. Roll up, head, neck, and shoulders. Round 2. So in my hollow body, either I stay with my arms alongside me, my hands behind my head, or I reach my arms in line with the ears. Stay as you are, or feel free to find a little rock. Notice how it's not big, just finding a little movement, and it's happening, being initiated from my core. This is a gymnastics thing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Bend your knees back and relax your head down. Whoa! If you need to, draw little circles with your nose or turn the head one side to side. This time we're flipping over into plank pose. So curl up head, neck, and shoulders. Cross at your shins. Then create a little rock again. And see if you can rock right over the shins and hop back into plank. No big deal. Bend your elbows, lower either halfway or all the way. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Exhale, dog. Staying for 4 breaths. Oh, I'm warm. 3, hopefully you are too. And 1. Lower the knees down towards the floor and just sit back towards your heels. So at this point, if you feel like you want a wall for support, you can reposition yourself so that you've got a little bit of wall space. I will. So I'm gonna have a wall in the other room. Feel free to do that as well if you need to. But I've got this little kind of crevice here that I'm gonna work with. So you can see here what I'm working with. In this position, so like, I know we don't want to get married to the wall or anything. We want to build our handstands or any kind of inversion, like not relying on another thing, but sometimes it can just make it like a little less scary. So I'll place my hands onto the floor. Yeah, you can see the hands. How about some light, Rachel? Okay, hands onto the floor. Great. Once my hands are down, also have your hands about armpits distance apart. So you might measure thumbs to armpits, place them down. I'm gonna place them like, 6 inches away from the wall. I'm looking forward, not back. So maybe watch first if you're not sure. And once I've got my position, just like we practiced before in the little tiny lunge, now float my back leg off, energize it, and kick up. And see how I didn't even get to the wall, but like my brain did a thing where because it knew the wall was there, it allowed me to go a little more into a handstand-like position. So try with whatever leg forward first, and you can go ahead and practice now if you're not already. And if you happen to like over kick and find the wall really hard, then if you end up in a kind of banana position like I'm in right now, then find your hollow body position again. So squeeze your butt a little, pull the ribs towards your hips, and make sure, whoops, you're still looking at the thumbs. Wrapping armpits to heart. I'm just saying too many things probably. 2 more breaths. And with control, if you can, lowering back down. Taking a second. Just try not to do too much. You might bend the knees again. Did Jack try that, Danny Kind? I hope he did. Maybe he likes it. So we're going to try again with the other leg forward. And most of us have a dominant kind of kicking leg. So you might try the other one. Okay, I'm gonna try my weird leg. You'll see it looks fun. So usually my right foot forward feels a bit better. I'm gonna take my left foot forward, hands are still to the ground. My gaze is forward of my fingertips, cool? Back leg floats up, and it's activated, it's not dead weight. And then I keep looking forward and kick up and down. Whew. And you might notice, if you've been watching this whole thing, that when I kick up, my tendency is to let my shoulder blades go toward each other on the back, but that's not on purpose. I'm trying not to let that happen. It's just, I've been living in this bag of bones for 34 years with a certain amount of tendencies, and so it might take a second to readjust. Try a couple more kicks. Jack did not try it, but he's obsessed that I'm in a bra. Yeah. Jack likes boobs. Can you blame him? Take one more breath. Okay, once you've done a few on that side, pause. And then since we're at a wall, let's, you can keep going like that, or feel free to follow me. And you don't need that much space, but just enough that you can stand beside the wall with your arm toward it. Other hand wraps around the ribs, just below your bra, if you have one on. And lift the arm up towards the ceiling, and turn the palm to face the wall. I need a bit more space. As it goes back behind you. And I'm trying not to turn toward the wall. I'm just stretching my arm in that range of motion. So the wall is almost like a thing I'm not touching, but I'm just using it for a bit of proprioception, or like the idea of where my body is in space while I do these big circles. So from the front, it would look more or less like this. I turn my palm and I'm reaching back, but again, trying not to let my whole body turn with my arm. Go the other direction if you've been going in one way. And sometimes actually pressing into the wall feels kind of nice, especially in the tight bits. One more circle. And then switch. Just turn to face other direction. Other hand wraps around the ribs. Stand as close as you want. If your shoulders tend to be kind of tight, you'll want to stand further away. And this I think I learned from Yoga Detour. Either Catherine or Cecily, somebody. We all get these things from different traditions. This might be more of a gymnastics thing as well, which is like the hollow body rock. But like I was saying before, it doesn't really matter what any of this stuff is called. You can have it be part of like a conscious movement practice, whether it's like a squat or whatever. Go the other way. Just letting yourself tune into exactly what you're doing and letting that be your practice of becoming mindful even when things are somewhat uncomfortable. We notice our aversions, but instead of like running away from them, maybe you slightly lean in with like a little curiosity. Very nice. Once you're finished that circle, come back over to your wall. And you'll want some space probably where it's flatter. I'm just staying here for sake of ease. I walk myself pretty much up against it and pull the back of my rib cage into the wall. Hands start at a W. Keep the backs of your hands and your arms on the wall as you slide up to wherever you can get with your lower ribs and head still on the wall. Oof, and then back down. Close the eyes and breathe. Keep the back of your arms, back of the rib cage, and head softly on the wall. Also, if that's impossible, if you've got like some flesh in the way, you can also do this with bent knees. That's fine too. One more time, sliding arms, feeling relation of your hands to your torso. This time, straighten the arms and hold. Once the arms are straight, if knees were bent, lengthen them. One big circle of the arms, just watch out if you've got like pictures or anything. Lower them all the way down beside you. Palms face towards your wall now. Step one, heel back so it touches your wall. Use that to find like more lift through the crown of your head. Push a little through your arms. And then push off of the wall in one line. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Rachel, I hope you watched that. That was like a legit Pilates ending. I called this class yoga. I don't know that it was really yoga, like I said, but if you have time, please take yourself into a Shavasana, a stillness, and just bask in the glory of the warmth you created by yourself. You did that. Just noticing how you feel. Thank you, Jeannie Mac. I hope that felt good on the shoulders and wrists and all the things. Yeah, Laura. Oh, I wish I could have seen your hop-ups, Laura. They would have been more graceful than what I was doing here. I haven't really practiced any kind of inverting in a while, like that kind of stuff. When I got really into the Pilates practice, I just was like, handstand, whatever. Maybe this will be like the time and start to practice and get them back. Please know that this does take some time, so if you've been like practicing inversions and stuff for a long time, it might not feel that intense, but when it's a newer practice, it can feel like, oh my goodness, a lot of effort. And so maybe don't do it like every day at the beginning. Give yourself some breaks, and you can do the like kicking up and that kind of stuff throughout your day, but just do a little bit of like wrist and shoulder prep before you do it, so you're not like shocking your body into something that it might not feel warm for. Yeah, Joe was a gymnast, so it's all relative. Joseph Pilates was like a boxer, a gymnast, I think he was maybe a wrestler, I might have made that up, circus performer. Jack, you tried your best and you did a great job, and I'm gonna try the handstand or whatever it's called. I love Jack. Thank you for being here. Best. And if he tries the handstand or whatever it's called, try to make press up. Good question. Try to make a video if he does try it, Danny. So Jordan, to answer your question, I'm probably the wrong person to ask about this. You should talk to Sheldon, Shannon, or Amica. But for press ups, I find them almost impossible. But to practice, I might put my hands on the ground and have my legs together, and then like a little frog. Hop, oh, and back down. Like, hop, oops, and then stretching. And then once I'm up, letting my hips hinge, so, letting my butt go back in space while my legs move forward. This is harder than it. Yep. Legs are moving forward, butt is moving back. Pressing legs tightly together. And then going back up. Apparently I'm good at going up but not down. But if you practice the down, then the up gets easier. But because it's quite difficult for me to even when I'm standing to lift my leg in that direction, when I'm upside down, it's just not really gonna happen for now. But yeah, the same type of thing, but working more from this. Or I've seen people where they walk their toes right up to their wrists and lift the heels and then lift, but it's never worked for my body. You could try it with your hands on blocks, but yeah, I've got long torso, short arms, and I'm just working with my physiology. But you'll do it. So when you figure it out, Jordan, make another video or photo and post it. Tag me. Love to see it. Thank you, everybody. Have the best weekend. Yeah, same, Rachel, you have the same issues as me. And they're not issues, actually, are they? They're advantages. They're just different. It's two unique Rachels. One world. Okay, I'll see you on Monday for some glute and sweaty action. Bye, y'all.